Weezy out of here. Weezy out. Weezy out.
Lot of money, I can have a cash. Boy, flew back across the water with a passport. Lamborghini yours is a fast four. I'm around the world securing me a bad boy. Call the bro neighbor like your next door.
And I'm telling you, I'm believing Kansas City is going to win that Super Bowl on 2020, February 2nd, 2020. And Bob Jones says, what did he say? It'll mark a timeline in the spirit concerning the emerging apostolic movement. Woo! A great release of transformation in the church. Yeah, Chris. Bob Jones, I know people are saying, oh, Bob Jones prophesied revival would happen when Kansas City finally wins the Super Bowl. They haven't won yet, but they're going on February 2nd to 2020. They're going, and Bob Jones, this was from the lips of Paul Keith Davis today. He got this prophecy in the late 80s, and he said, concerning the apostolic movement, watch for it emerge powerfully this timeline when the Kansas City Chiefs win the Super Bowl.
Scattered throughout humanity, but we belong to the Lord. That church is a different thing. The church as an organized system has come to an end. The methods and formulas and traditions and things that we have done to inspire people or to motivate people or even to entertain people in church have come to an end. The grace is gone. It's not there anymore. Now we're about to see a new age coming, but we're in this interval, this interval between the two.
Because of the word that came 37 years ago, this year, surely the sovereign Lord, Amos 3:7, does absolutely nothing without first revealing his plan to his servants, the prophets. And watch the Kansas City Chiefs. And the Kansas City Chiefs will be an indicator in what God will do in revival and raising up a new breed eagle. Had nothing to do with, a world revival happening, but it had everything to do with a new breed eagle coming forward in this season. A brand new breed eagle that functions in both the spirit.
For those of you who haven't heard, you need to go and watch my last little video in Oil Patch Pulpit where I talk about the prophecy that Bob Jones gave about when the Kansas City Chiefs win the Super Bowl. It's been 50 years since they've had an opportunity. This Sunday is their first chance at 50 years. And you just got to go back and watch that video if you want to hear about it. But it's profound, and I don't even watch sports, but I promise you I'll be watching that game. I'm getting emails from people saying, is it okay to bet on this game? I'm not going to say I haven't thought about it, but I'm not going to. You just pray about that one and follow your spirit.
It's an instinct. Feeling. The force brought us together. We're not alone. Good people will fight if we lead them.
People keep telling me they know me. No one does.
But I do.
Long have I waited, and now you're coming together.
That's a big deal, only because we're trying to process through a lot of things together And that's one of the things I wanted to talk about today. We are processing through these prophetic words. I know right now, 2020 and this entire decade, many people are releasing powerful, accurate, timely prophetic words. We've released this book, Prophetic Words.
But in 2 Chronicles 20:20, and I find it's interesting that this is the year 2020, but 2 Chronicles 20:20 says, put your trust in the Lord your God and you will be established. Put your trust in his prophets and succeed. So I think it's really important in era transitions, especially like this one, that we hear what is God's prophetic word. What is he saying to the church? Because
welcomes you to the Pepsi Zero Sugar Super Bowl 51 halftime show.
God bless America, land that I love. Stand beside her and guide her through the night with the light from above.
And one of the things that I think we need so much in this day is to sit at the feet of fathers of faith, those who have gone before us. And in a few moments, you're going to meet some really good friends of mine, Bob Jones, who is a seer prophet, and he is in his elder years now and has so much wisdom to give. Many people don't understand seer, and Bob Jones in our day is I think, one of the champions of the seer realm. In fact, as a prophet, he's probably one of the most accurate prophets in our generation. But we also have Todd Bentley with us today, who is another favorite of mine, and he's from the younger generation, and he's just a young man who's only known the Lord for a few years, I think around 10 or 11 years now, and he's been in Todd, I remember years ago, you gave me a phone call and you said, hey, I've just been soaking with Bob Jones and I've gone up into the third heaven and all that. And it was all new to me. I'd never even heard that kind of language before, and I was so hungry for it. But tell me about the first time you met Bob and, you know, your encounters into the third heaven.
Yeah, well, the first time that I had met Bob was actually in Grants Pass, Oregon. And we were sitting in a restaurant. And I was really hungry. I knew Bob was a real seer prophet. And I thought, Lord, I'm going to get an impartation. I've been having all these encounters and all these visions and experiences already, soaking. But I thought, Lord, I need to talk to somebody that's been walking in this, that's really a senior prophet. And so when I met Bob, I thought, Lord, I'm going to get an impartation. And I remember talking with Bob in a restaurant about, you know, going into the heavens and what it was. And we were talking about the third heaven and going into the immediate abode, into that place of the dwelling place of God. And I thought, that's awesome. I was hungry for it too. I wanted more, because up until that point, sovereignly, God was just visiting me. And I was just waiting in His presence, and sovereignly, God was visiting me. And Bob said to me, he said, well, we can go right now. And I said, what do you mean we can go right now? Like, just we can make a decision right now and enter into that realm of the Spirit? And he said, sure we can. Don't you have faith, boy? Or something like that, right? That's what he said to me. And I remember Bob took my hand. And everyone else at the table, I don't know how many, maybe 20, 30 other people were yakking at the table. It was quite noisy. A lot of other leaders there. And Bob just takes my hand like this. And he says, all right, here we go. And he says, close your eyes. And I remember closing my eyes. And Bob saying, okay, there it is. Can you feel it? All right, here we go. We're going in. Whoa, we're going in. We're going in. And all of a sudden, I felt myself going up. I felt my body being lifted up. And it was moving really.
Where we come from, talk is cheap. You judge by what you produce. You have to prove yourself over and over again. And even then, they still doubt you. Where we come from, nothing is given. Everything is earned. You finish what you start. You eat what you kill. One day, you feasting, but the next, you starving again. And where we come from defines us. It's who we are. We represent something way bigger than ourselves.